In the very depths of evil stands the minions of Skeletor as they come together to initiate and welcome another ally to the fray. None other than the acclaimed Beastman.
Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another exciting review from the Masters of the Universe Revelation line, Masterverse, and it is Beastman, and he is looking awesome. Check that out. You have that bookend art, really nice on the sides. You have that really awesome artwork on the back. If you'd like to pause and read that bio for Beastman, you can now. Let's break open Beastman and see what he's all about. Accessories, comparisons to his classic counterparts and everything. Come on, let's check him out over here inside
of Snake Mountain.
Looking at Beastman's accessories right here inside of Snake Mountain. We are going to first of all see that Beastman comes with his traditional whip. That's right, that is really cool. He has that whip, big whip. He has giant hands. Just take a look at Beastman's hands. Now this is the Revelation incarnation of Beastman, kind of the way he looks during the series when Skeletor is supposedly dead and they're all kind of spreading out doing their own thing, and Beastman kind of comes alongside of, you know, Evil Lyn back there as an ally. But he's kind of her protector, and he's kind of back to his tribal ways. But he had just a lot going on, and he is a ferocious monster. He's looking great though here. I like this incarnation of him. It is different. He's got some scarring on his chest and fur areas, just, you know, from the standpoint of he's ruffled, he's been torn in a lot of ways. He comes with 2 balled up fisted hands. He comes with 3 pair total. He has 2 weapon wielding hands and then 1 kind of clawing, sprawled out set of hands, and one's equipped and one's over here, as you see, as well as with that weapon holding hand, the one that he uses to hold his whip. So really cool face sculpt, I think, on this Beastman. I like the way they did his eyes, the braids in his beard, almost the war paint. You see his fur back there on his mane, on his back, just really looking cool. His belt, his blue tunic coming off there, just really neat looking all the way around. Let's take a look at our Beastman's articulation. And our Beastman is really cool looking. Just take a look at his overall look here all the way around. You see him holding, look at the length. I mean, he's got some length to those arms, and then again that fur that comes down into his upper back section. It's just looking really intimidating, looking really great. I want us to zoom on in here though and look at our Beastman even closer, because that face sculpt is really neat. And I wanted to show you something just as far as equipment here is concerned. This is part of our articulation. We're going to call it part of our articulation here, but this right here comes apart, so you can disconnect the whip part here, and then you're going to be able to put that right here on his side. So that's kind of cool, and then his arm will kind of cover up where it plugs in, so he can equip his whip there, and it looks really cool. Just look at how long those arms are. They're a lot longer than most of the action figures, and I guess a lot of it is these big old hands. And look at the claws. That is really cool. Just check out those fingernails that he has, the claws on those hands, those monster hands he's got there. That's really cool. Let's look at his head first. He's able to look up a good amount there. He's able to look down pretty good because he's already got kind of a hunchback. These braids do block it a little bit, but that is still very good. He of course has pivot and can look side to side, and his arms will go 360. He does have bicep swivel. He does have the ability to go a little above 90 degrees. His wrists, of course, swivel and hinge, and they're all horizontal, no vertical for any of the wrists that he comes with. Then when it comes to his upper torso, he's able to basically sit up straight, not much bending back, but he does bend over quite a bit, but that's because he's already got kind of that hunchback look to him. He does have swivel at the waist. He can get full splits there, and that loincloth does cover everything very well, even the break there and that upper thigh cut there. He also has muscular calf cut there, which there's fur over those calves. He has the ability to go down all the way with tiptoes, up most of the way there as well. Has excellent rockers with that forward facing pin, and of course has that really neat peg hole in the bottom. He's able to kick up about that much, not much kicking back. Double jointed knees, check that out. Really good range. Like all of these figures, Beastman has excellent articulation. Really pleased with that. He's looking cool. And again, that little piece right there on the side allows you to store his whip. You can put it this way if you want to, or you can switch it back there to kind of be on his back hip area. So that's really cool, and his arm covers that. Looking good. Awesome Beastman. Now let's do some comparisons. And here in Snake Mountain, we're taking a look at our Beast Men. From classics to Filmation, now to this Revelation incarnation of this amazing action figure. I really like this Beast Man. Now there's our classics Beast Man with his blue medallion around his neck. He has that more of a plastic whip. And our Beast Man, the Revelation one, has actual plastic base with a little rope, little clothy rope, nylon type rope attached to it. And of course this Beast Man has the furry mane around his neck with the horns coming out of it. And of course he has the shoulder, or if you want to call them bicep bands, pads with the horns coming out of that. Then our Filmation, of course, is more simplistic, looking like he stepped right out of the Filmation cartoon. And all of them, I've got them in somewhat of a hunched over type stance, similar to the way they were in, the cartoon, and just the way Beastman is postured. He kind of comes in humped over looking, kind of swinging his arm, almost ape-like in some ways. But really, really cool. All of them are pretty much furry. There's more detail on the classics and the Revelation one. This is more smooth, but you still see the fur on the mane around his neck somewhat, but just more cartoonish. But you see the comparisons here. You can definitely tell this is a Beastman, just a different outfit. And he's big. He's broad, he's muscular. Look at those arms in comparison to the other two. Wow, and his hands, his claws. I mean, wow. The feet are about the same on the classics and the Revelation, even though there's a little bit more detail on those feet here for the Revelation. But they both have claws painted. Of course, Filmation just has the boots, kind of like we were used to in the cartoon. Just in case someone was wondering, I wanted to show you very quickly, if you removed the spike arm bicep band from the classics one, that will not fit, unfortunately, on our Revelation Beastman. Even if you heat it up, it's going to be a tight fit. You'd have to really stretch it, and I'm afraid it breaks. So I did try heating it up. It wouldn't even go past his forearm, much less get on his bicep. That's how much larger his arms are. Now, this is another case. Because of that big piece of fur on his back, this you can stretch that to go over it and then pop his head back on, but it looks kind of weird, the way it's sticking up in the back. That's, I'll leave that up to you, what you think, but you can see that the problem is it's overlapping the fur on his back, so it's not really a true fit. But if you like it, it does technically go on there. You can make it happen. So just showing you that very quickly there. And oddly enough, the Beastman ball socket actually fits perfectly with the Revelation and the Classic. It's not even too big, so you can pop on that Classic head and it looks good. The colors match great, and it does look good. So you can use your Classic head on your Revelation Beastman if you would like to. Also, the Revelation head on the Classic's Beastman body if you would like to. Let me go ahead and switch this out so you can see it pops right on there with no problem, without even having to heat it up. And then if you want to put his garment, his fur back on over here, you can pop that Revelation head right on there, and there he is, all complete again with his armbands and that Revelation head sculpt there with the Classic's body. And then there you have it without. I took off the fur mane around his neck, and you see that Classic's head still looks great on the Revelation. Up and down, get some pivot side to side, everything works great. Really cool. So there you have it. Maybe a little bit small on the Classic's body, but it will work. So now you know. Now let's measure in our new Beastman. Now remember, I do have them hunched over, but you have this Beastman right at that 7-inch mark, and then our Classics just, hunched over right at the 6.5, little over 6.5-inch mark, and then the Filmation is right at the 6.5, little above the 6.5-inch mark as well. And again, I do have them hunched over. So this one's definitely, a little bit larger, a little taller, definitely broader. But let's look at those arms. Yes, fully stretched out. Those arms are about 4 inches long just by themselves. Wow, really cool. But yeah, he's got some really cool features. Just check out again that fur on his mane, on his back. Instead of having it all the way around his neck like the others, this is more of a simplistic look. But he's got that war paint, and his teeth are showing. I mean, this is really awesome. I think he's neat. Before we go to our photo gallery, I was going to mention to you that this Beastman is not really going to be able to ride the Griffin very well because of his loincloth. Even though it is soft and can be moved, with it having a back and a front to it, it gets in the way of the saddle. So what you'd have to do is buy a second Beastman and trim this down here so that he would go down in the saddle, and that could be done if you don't mind cutting off that loincloth part or trimming it down there. But other than that, it's going to be hard for him to ride the Griffin. Otherwise, I think he'd look fine on it. If he didn't have that, blue loincloth, I think he would look fine on that Griffin riding it. He'd be just right size. He'll be able to sit down in there, tuck him in, and really do an awesome job with that Griffin. Really cool. Thank you so much for joining us for this review. Please like, subscribe if you haven't. We're getting mighty close to 1,000. And comment. Hope to see you next time. Be blessed. Here's some photos.